Hey, Portia. Hey, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about how to take our power back. So this is a part of self-care, self-love, self-acceptance. But I'm going to do the intro, give YouTube time to do what it does. Hello and welcome. My name is Dion, and I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy, knowing it's okay to be your authentic self in a world where people will tell you who and how you should be. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand, a certain tool, or a certain technique because that's what they're telling you in whatever video you're watching. No, wear what you want, however you want, with whatever tools you use to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. I don't know about anywhere else, but here at the Crazy Troll Nation, that was weird. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we believe in self acceptance and self love, embracing our natural features, enhancing them if we want to, when we want to, but never feeling like we have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. So that's the intro. Hey, Jen. Hey, Michelle. I don't know. Hey, Janessa. I don't know if she's really here, but this live in the last one, when I click go live, it shows Portia, but I don't know if she's really in here or not, or if she just like logs in to be notified, and then I don't know. But if you are here, Portia, hi, I'll see you like in less than a week. Um, Two things about me, if this is your first time here. I curse sometimes because I curse sometimes, and there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches, and I try to be aware of it to say, excuse me. Sometimes, though, I don't realize it until like way after the fact, meaning after it's already aired on YouTube, and I'm just like, oh, okay. While we are waiting, we are going to talk about how to take your power back. But why is it so hard to say while? While we're waiting, we're going to open up this box. They had, y'all know I'm a Penzi, so they had a 25% off sale, and it came right on time. And I do still have gift cards from when I purchased them on sale before. I had ran out of Forward, and so I took the opportunity to buy that. I don't remember what else I got. In a way, I regret buying the bag of ginger, but in a way I don't, because it is past the PAO, but for spices, they are still good, because it's more like a best buy date. And when I did Google it, it says you can still use them. They just won't be as potent as they was before the best by date. So they're best before this time. You can use them after, but it might be a little different. But because I pile on seasonings anyway, I don't think I'll even notice. You know what I mean? So I do have like a lot of ginger. So we're gonna open this up. I forget what the other offers were. I think that they reduced minimum purchase for free shipping. They always they pack really well. They need to teach Ulta how to pack. Growing up, your family had spices that were older than, oh no, older than you. Hey, Alexandra. So they always do put in a free something. I didn't order this. This is lemon pepper. I will probably give this away. I just don't use lemon pepper. But the seasonings I use, though, it may have pepper in it. It may have like lemon peel in it or something like that. So that'll go somewhere else. Oh, I bought a bag of turmeric. This is the smaller bag. They have a bag bigger than this. Y'all, because I had bought those small jars. I'm almost done. And I didn't want to get a big bag. This, I used it in almost everything. I really do. Turmeric and ginger, I put in almost everything. The best buy date on here is April 2027. So if I would have known the date was that far out, I might have got the bigger bag. But y'all, I've been loving me some turmeric. And it is in other seasonings too. This is Forward. I got this is also not the largest bag. Both of these are 3.5 ounces. Actually, this is 2.9. This is 3.5. The best buy date on here is June 2027. And I didn't have any of this, y'all. The jars are 2 ounces depending on how finely milled or how chunky the spice is. But this will almost fill up one jar. Because the jar is like a 2 ounce jar. If I'd have known, I would have got another one. So what else did we get? You're excited for a little makeup? No, we're just a topic tonight. How to take your power back. Hopefully your kids go down so you can actually watch. Or just catch the replay. I purchased a larger Um, I was watching your video, Michelle, when I did my base face, and then I almost forgot I was supposed to be recording the look. So I primed my eyes, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be recording. Sandwich sprinkle. I put this in a lot of stuff too. And so I said, let me just get the bigger one in this one, because I had been getting the small jars. And the Best By date on here is July 2027. And there's 2 in here. I really did forget what I got, even though there was the invoice sheet is usually on the top, and so I could have just looked at it. But where's the fun in that? You know, open it like it's Christmas. And the reason, because what I'll do is, Janet, is like when I read what's in, when I read, like this is forward. This has replaced justice, because I used to be a justice hoe. This replaced my justice. And so what I do is, because I want more of certain flavors, and so this says special extra bold black pepper, onion, paprika, garlic, turmeric, spice extractives including olivine of celery, rosemary, black pepper, thyme, basil, and paprika. So what I'll do is that I'll add a little bit more garlic. I'll add a little bit more of the turmeric. I'll add smoked paprika. So whatever the ingredients are and what I'm using, if I want more of that flavor, I'll just add it individually. And that's what got me started using more turmeric and also more ginger. Because I used to think ginger was just for baking, and I don't bake. But once I started using it for like ground meat, seasonings, I was like, oh, like ginger is more than just for bacon. And bacon. Not like pancakes and bacon. Baking. And so I started using turmeric a lot. As well as ginger. And so they always put an invoice sheet in here. But where's the fun in that? So, I've been loving this. I bought a small jar of this roasted garlic. I used all of it. I mean, it took time though, but so if something has garlic in it, I'll put roasted garlic in it. But I still have one of these that's maybe half of just regular garlic. And I'm like, I got to use that up because I really want this one because of the flavor. This is Best By June 2027. And Mural of Flavor, salt-free. I really like this too. I ran out. And so I got another one of these. And Best By on here is April 2027. So I really feel good about when I buy Pensies. Number one, because I usually shop when there's a sale. And plus I'll use a gift card that I purchase on sale. And sometimes you get to pick a 2-ounce bottle for free that they give away. They always have really good deals. And so, yeah, if you can get past the politics, y'all, they be hammering. They be hammering Republicans. And I tell people, if you can get past it, like when they send the emails, I don't even always read them because it's just a lot. It'll be like a whole wall of, and it is relevant stuff, but I'm like, I'm here for the seasonings. And so I do feel like I need to do that disclaimer because some people don't want to, hear about politics every time they want to buy something. You know what I mean? So I always throw that in there. So I might put this with the brush giveaway. Yo, I want to do the brush giveaway. I want to get the brushes up out of here because I know I don't like clutter. So I'm going to leave this out. All right, so this is going in the kitchen. Put the box cutter away, which is on my pony wall. So today, oh boy, hey Dawn, let me go back up to the top. You love sandwich sprinkle, yeah. And I remember when it was a while ago, Eileen had won. I don't know if it was a Pensies giveaway or some other giveaway where I just put like stuff in there because they always put at least one sample of something that you didn't pay for. They always put something extra. And so I don't know if it was a Pensies giveaway, which it might have been. I actually have a Pensies playlist, y'all. So if y'all want to hear about some different seasonings, yeah, I started narrowing it down. So if I had, especially with the spicy stuff, because if I had like 4 seasonings and they all had like bold black pepper, cayenne pepper, I'm like, I don't need 4 things with cayenne pepper. So I ended up just buying just cayenne pepper. So I started whittling down like what I had because I had so much stuff and a lot of stuff was duplicated because it was in other stuff. Anyway, so she had one, I don't know if it was a Pensies giveaway or something else, and one of the items was sandwich sprinkle. And she was like, oh, I don't make sandwiches that much. And so I commented saying, I don't make sandwiches a lot either, but I put sandwich sprinkle. I'll sprinkle it on chicken before I cook it. I'll put it in my homemade mashed potatoes, salads, because I usually do put a protein in my salad, so I'll sprinkle some of that on the protein. I said, so you can use stuff other than what it says. And she was like, oh. And she did try it, and she liked it. Yeah, salmon sprinkle, it's just something about it. I don't even know what's in it, but it's... One time I made a salad, and because I had like my dried cranberries and sunflower seeds and my pepitas somewhere else on the countertop, I forgot to put them in my salad. And I'm eating my salad like something's missing. And then I saw the pat. I'm like, see, I forgot. And that's how it is with salmon sprinkle and other spices. I'll be like, it's good, but something's missing. So salmon sprinkle, it does have salt in it. So when I use it, I don't use it a lot. The first ingredient is salt, and then it's garlic, tallow cherry, black pepper, basil, oregano, rosemary, thyme, and marjoram. So that's what's in here. But y'all, this is so good. But if you're watching your salt intake, which I'm not in particular, but I still don't tend to use salt. And if I'm using an ingredient or a spice like that with salt in it, I'll just use just a little bit. But yeah, thank you. I was like so surprised. I don't know when this will air. I did it today. But I'm like, for once, because I normally don't envision what I want my look to look like. And I said, I want this to be straight out. And y'all, I was like, oh, and the shapes is the same. This is like a once in a year thing for me, where it looks like how I actually envision it. Because usually I don't envision. But thank you. And I love the look so much. I didn't even do line of upper lash line, and that seldom happens. Usually, if I don't have it, it's because I forgot. But this time, I was really like, I don't want to do that. You love salmon sprinkle, use it a lot. Yeah. And I love making yellow rice in my rice cooker with turmeric and kidney beans. Janessa, do you have near where you are? Because I get it from BJ's, but it's called Par Excellence, and it's a yellow rice. And I think it's in the ethnic aisle if it wasn't a grocery store. But at BJ's, it's just where the rice is. But it is a yellow rice, and it is so good. And I'm sure it's turmeric in it because it's yellow, but it is so good. And I use my rice cooker for that. I think I might have even posted it on my community tab or on Instagram or something, y'all. And I think I'm gonna make that tonight because I took out some shrimps this morning to thaw. So I might do shrimps and rice. But then I also took out, no, I didn't take it out, but you cook it from frozen, the Asian stir-fry vegetable. So I'm going to do something with that tonight. But yeah, salmon sprinkle, oh my gosh. Hey, Dawn. I still ain't see, oh, there's Grace. Hey, Grace. Hey, Locke. What's the thumbs down for, Michelle? What's the note for? Oh, no, because no look tonight. Is that why? She wants them out because she's going to change her mind if she starts keeping. No, not at all. They're in a bag packed up over there. I just don't like clutter. And so there's just like this bag of brushes just like sitting over there. And it's annoying me because I don't like stuff. And I do have other stuff stacked up that I'm going to use. But if it's stuff that I'm not going to use and that is a set aside for a giveaway, I want it gone. I want it gone. And no, I'm not going to change my mind because they sat here all this time without me using them. So I'm just like, I just want them out of here. Hey, Locke. I think I just said hi. Sasha, how are you? Dion got a fresh cut. Yup, that was like, what time was it? Might have been like, no, wait a minute. Maybe like 4 this morning. I cut my hair. It just trips me out how my hairline is dark. This is not bronzer, y'all. This is my hairline. I'm like, what? Why? Like, that is just so freaking weird. But it was like 4 this morning. I never feel like cutting my hair. It only takes me 10 minutes or less. When I cut it every 2 weeks, it's like 5 minutes. This was 1 day over 3 weeks, and it took me 10 minutes. And so I don't understand. I never feel like cutting it, but it's so quick. It's weird. And everybody saying hi to everybody. Tanya loves saffron rice. Usually use that and ranch yellow rice. So good. The Par Excellence, it comes in like a tub. It has a handle. Yo, it is, oh my gosh, it is so good. And I bought it on a whim because there was a coupon. And this is when they first started talking about the tariff stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get some non-perishables or stuff where the best buy date is like 2026, 2027. So I'm like, I'll buy it and try it. Y'all, I made it. I went back and bought 2 more. When they had coupons again, I went back and got more. Oh, that rice is so good. I'm not sure of the brand, but I've seen packages of that. I don't buy it often. I usually just buy bulk rice from Asian grocery and add turmeric. We do have, I don't know if it's an Asian store or an Indian store. I get confused because I don't know what stuff is. And it'll say what it is, but I still don't know what it is. And I'm like, what is that? How do I cook it? Like, why? And some stuff it's not even in English. And so I tend to not. I went in there with a friend of mine. She bought stuff. I didn't buy anything because I didn't know what stuff was. Yeah, and it's only maybe like less than 10 minutes from here. And I say that a lot. I am like 10 minutes away from like a whole lot of stuff. And so I don't go in there because I get so confused. And I don't want to be asking people, what does this say? What is this? How do you cook it? Like what? That does sound delicious. You were like, if you don't get past that, and I was like, cannot at all. I'm gonna have to try this. I don't like cilantro. I don't like it. I tolerate it if it's in salsa, if it's just a little bit, but I don't like the taste of it. So if it's a lot of cilantro, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. You bought some prices in Costco, long grain, wild rice blend, excellent. It is so good. You get Zatarans. And I look at that sometimes, but the part excellence, I kind of want to get it to show y'all because it's like $5. I'm going to go get it. Yeah, I couldn't swing my legs that way. Y'all like, why is she spinning around like that? Because I can't get my legs over that way because that side of the table is near the table leg. This is it, y'all. This is like $5 or $6. This is a lot of friggin' rice. And so when I compare the price of this to like one box of like Zatarans or something, I'm like, oh no, mm-mm. This right here, par excellence, yellow rice, authentic Spanish style, completely seasoned, long grain, premium rice. And this is 3.5 pounds. And it's like $5 or $6. So when they have like $1 off coupon, I'll be like, y'all, this is so, oh my gosh, and when you cook it, because when you look at it, it just looks like, okay, they have little stuff in there. But when you cook it, it actually looks like this. And then the center, however it cooks, I don't know, it's in my rice cooker, I don't know what it does. But the center of it will be like a patch of the different seasonings. And how you see the red and the green, it'll be like in the center. It'll be mixed in there too. But this right here, par excellence Spanish rice, that is so good. All right, let me go through the comments again, and then we're going to get into this topic, how to take your power back. I had a thought today, y'all, to go back on Plenty of Fish just so I can have some juicy content for y'all. Because y'all know it'd be crazy stuff happening. But I'm like, it's insane doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Cilantro makes everything better. If you like the taste, I do not like the taste of it. To me, if it's more than just a tiny bit, I will not eat it because I just do not like the taste of it at all. Y'all can have it. Gladly, you can have all of my cilantro. Or is this sort of a Pan-Asian store? The owner is Filipino, but she carries Filipino, Chinese, Indian, some Japanese, Thai, and even Middle Eastern. A lot of selections, especially for North Dakota. That kind of sounds like how the one is here, and so it confused me even more. Like I don't know what stuff is. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, and I don't really cook anyway, so. Ew. I don't really cook that much anyway, so I'm really just like, what is this? I love to try different rices with different proteins, simple, quick meals. Do you have a rice? You do have a rice cooker, Grace, don't you? Because I'll put rice in the rice cooker, and then cook the protein. They get done around the same time. I think the rice cooker is like 15, 20 minutes, depending on how much rice I'm cooking in it. But yeah, I'm stuck on that. And I do have white rice, but I'm stuck on the yellow rice. And I do put different proteins in it. And sometimes vegetables. Haven't heard of that. Lots of cheese. Yes, you can put anything in rice. You can put anything in rice. Excuse me, you did not get a... Hey, Nina! You did not get a notification. Thank you, Nina. It's good to see you. You prefer jasmine and basmati. I do like basmati rice. Brown rice is not my friend. Brown rice is hard for my stomach to digest. Okay, we're going to I want to apologize to the members in here. was, as I was doing that video, and I mentioned it in this video when I was doing this eye look. As I was talking, and I'm like, if y'all are confused, welcome to my mind. Because I realized as I was outwardly processing, like just talking through like what my thoughts were, everything just ran together. And I'm like, and I wasn't confused, but when I started listening as I was speaking, I was like, they're probably confused. So I apologize for that. And I do think I confused all of y'all because nobody answered the questions. And I'm like, they are just like, what the hell is she talking about? But there were 3 options. I did go back and do a pinned comment on what the options were. Yeah, that was me outward processing. And outward processing is when you're talking through all of your thoughts to help you come to a decision. And so that's what outward processing is where it just seems like, what the fuck is she talking about? But then in the end, it's like, oh, okay. So instead of like just sitting thinking, it's like I'm talking as I'm thinking. I thought it was a good idea. But so I apologize. Because I'm like, I'm sure they are confused. And I'm reading the comments like nobody answered the question though. And that's my fault because I was just, so I do apologize for that, y'all. That was me. Welcome to my mind. This is Boathouse Farms. So we're going to talk about, I'm always audible. Tanya says, always say I'm audible, outward processing. Yeah. You just saw it. Is it strange that you followed what you were talking about? You didn't comment though. No, I mean, and what it comes down to is how a person processes information. Because as I was saying it, I knew what I meant. But then at some point I'm thinking, if y'all are confused, welcome to my mind. Because as I was hearing myself, as I kept going and going, I'm like, they're going to be like, what the fuck is she talking about? But no, it's not strange that you followed along. It's how we process information. So that just means that we process the same. And what I didn't do was say, okay, this, then this, then this. It was all like, everything just ran together. And that's where I think it got confusing. You got what I said? Because I don't think anybody actually answered the questions. It was either this, this, or this. It was 3 options. Like nobody answered or picked an option. And so then I thought so I did the pinned comment saying what the 3 options were. And then I thought maybe I'll just do a post with options. And I'm laughing because I know it's me. And so I was just like, oh my gosh. You recapped? I did. And that's why I recapped it, because I'm like, they probably like, what the hell? Because each option sounds good. And so it's like I said all of this stuff. And then it's like, which one? And y'all like, so that is why I recapped at the end, because I'm like, they probably like, what the hell? But yeah, that was my, that's my mind. The sweet ash smoke in this bread. Why did I put on, this is blue today, which is different than the black one that I have, and even the straps are different. I like the black and whatever other color, because the straps are where my bra straps are. Because I don't think this, I mean, I know it's a look for some people, but I'm just like that, they don't need to actually see the bra. But anyway, I put that black one on today, and I'm like, because remember I sprayed like this, and so it's, I was like, I cannot get away from this fragrance. And I lie to you not. Even though I showered and everything, and I've showered a few times since then, I can still smell it on my skin. I can still friggin' smell it. It's very, very faint, but I can still friggin' smell it. So when I say my sinuses are sensitive, I can still friggin' smell it. So whatever day that was, from then till now, I showered every day. I can still friggin' smell it. So I don't know. And then I did spray it close right here too. And that's when it started dripping because I sprayed too much. So maybe that's it. I can still friggin' smell it. Do all the above. Or it'll be multiple series. Yeah, you don't like the first one when you first sprayed it, then it was no more. How much do I need to douse on? So I could still, it's very faint, but I could, but I can still smell it. Didn't phase you, says Janet. And we think alike too, Janet. You just like ran through it all day long in my head. And usually I do, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this video. You love the blue. It's like a blurple. What are you seeing? Oh, the top. It is more navy blue in person. But I get what you're seeing, because looking at where you guys are looking, it does look like a blurple type thing. Yeah. Yeah, but I put that other one on, and I'm like, took that off, and I'm like, okay. And I don't have another black one. I need to find some somewhere. Old Navy has great strapping. Old Navy near me, y'all, their prices is fucking outrageous. And then they always having 50% off sales, and the 50% off sale price is still outrageous. Dion's gonna be a sniff partner for review. My review is it don't smell rank. No migraine. I'm doing okay. I actually am well rested today. I actually am, and it doesn't happen often. So I kind of feel like I'm high, because I'm just like, wow, is this what it feels like to not be fatigued? I am seldom well rested. You showcase several times and you can still smell a sniff commercial. That would be it. And now my nose is running because I was actually sniffing it. When you spray it in your nostrils, you smell it for weeks. If I did that, I think I would be tearing up and my nose would be running for weeks. Who is it? Maybe she should spray sweet ash in her nostrils. Old Navy is always high. I went in there trying to find a belt. Them belts was like $50-something. And I'm looking at this thing like, no. And so I went to an employee. I said, where's your clearance section for belts? And she was like, oh, it's right there. I said, that's where I was. And they said $50. And I was like, oh, hell no. You haven't shopped online in Old Navy in a while, but they have great deals. But maybe I need to go online, but I need to try stuff on because of my pudge. Y'all, why am I back to 200 pounds? I'm not liking it. And I knew I was. Yeah, for a freaking belt. I was like, that'll stay right. I'm like, that's why it's on the shelf. That's why it's still here. I went on a chip spree the other night. This is so good. It was Boathouse Farms Amazing Mango. It was amazing. So we're going to talk about, I was down to like 195. And I feel good. I feel best below that, but to be realistic, and I knew, because I went on a carb kick. And I can even feel it, like my stomach feels different. Of course, the bulge is bigger and all of that, but it's just a different feeling. Like it's like I don't feel quite right. But when I weigh less, like 194, 195, like it does, my stomach does feel better. It feels different. Oh yes. All right, y'all. We're not gonna stay long. Thank you, Janet. Janessa is going live tonight, and somebody please say something. Janessa, feel free to say something or to be like, hey, because I had forgot. So you do feel free to say something. And for that matter, if y'all do content, feel free to post like what you're doing. Like Nina's on Instagram, Janice on Instagram, Tanya sometimes posting on YouTube. So feel free to put in the chat, because some channels, sometimes when I watch lives, I'm just like, I don't know what's okay to say, because I might be newer to that channel. But for here, y'all can feel free to do that. But yes, thank you, Jen. Janessa is doing the live after this. So this is Take Your Power Back. I touched on it a little bit. Excuse me, you were putting on lotion. Be live at 9 o'clock Central with the new Blend Bunny palettes. And you can do yours at 8 p.m., which would, I can be done this in a half hour, because just like now, we just babbled for 30 minutes. Take Your Power Back. And this will piggyback on the live when I was saying I read Dude and I wrote that long ass email. And I didn't feel like I had lost power, but it was just, if something is in my mind, like if you say something to me, not y'all in particular, but if somebody says something to me and I'm just like, and I have a way of dismissing stuff. And I think it's a defense mechanism now that I'm thinking about it, because somebody will say something, or they'll send me a message or a text or email, and I'll read it and be like, and then I just dismiss it. And then like days later, it'll come back to the forefront of my mind. And then I actually start thinking about it. And so I think initially, I think my mind is like, okay, you're not in the right headspace for this right now. You might go the fuck off. And y'all seen me go off before. So I think that's my mind just being like, okay, not today. But hey T, you just got here. Do you have no, but I'm hoping I will soon. I'm waiting on stuff. Um I love mango with banana. Okay, so let's get into this so we can get out of here. Yeah, that'll be 10 Eastern. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying she can go earlier. You just got here. No, I hope to have it soon though. So yeah, I'll something will hit me funny, like what the fuck, and then I'll just like dismiss it, and I'll completely like forget about it, and then days later it'll come back into like my consciousness, and then I deal with it, or what am I going to do? What am I going to say, or whatever. And so I don't like that situation I was telling y'all about. It wasn't that I felt like somebody took my power. But if I would have dealt with it from a place of emotion versus a place of reason, then that would have been giving my power away. So if you have the tendency where somebody says something and you just go smooth off, if you're speaking from a place of emotion, you're giving them what they want because you're not being factual. You're not, I don't want to say not being reasonable, but you're allowing what they say to put you in a place where you most likely don't want to be. And when you're speaking from a place of emotion, you're seldom going to get your point across because you're just out there. I am avoidant when I should be, when you should meet head on. It takes that may just be your personality type. And there are different tests you can take. I forget what it is. And you answer these questions, it'll tell you what your personality type. Like my dad, he's avoidant. If he even thinks it's going to be conflict, like he just won't show up. And I'm just like, dude, like what? And some people do have that personality type. And so this isn't me saying, change how you are. And sometimes we do just need to take a time out. You're always emotional, says Nina. And when I hear or see something, I could feel my blood starting to get warm. And I'm like, okay, if I don't cut this stove off, I'm going to fucking go off. And so I have to, and it's being aware, being self-aware, like knowing how certain things hit you as far as emotions, and knowing what your reaction usually is. And if it's something you want to change, that takes a lot of conscious thought. And so that goes back to not speaking from a place of emotion. Somebody says something, you get mad, you start cursing, blah, 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 blah. What did you accomplish? Michelle says that's hers. Janessa says I could keep pretty level head most of the time, but I can hold a grudge until I'm cold and dead. I want you to get over that, Janessa, because if you're holding that grudge, you're giving them power over you. We decide, all of us here, feel the rage burning. I can feel it bubbling. I'm just like, I'm like, I gotta go. Because I'm like, I don't want to, and especially if I'm around family, because they haven't seen me go smooth off. Y'all have seen it here. They haven't seen it. And so I'll be like, and that's another part of it, T, too. When we speak from emotion, from a place of heightened emotion, because we can be passionate about something and still be level-headed at the same time. But when we speak from just straight emotion, we're going to just be saying stuff, and then later we'll be like, hey, why did I say that? Like, what difference did that even make? You're a pro-confrontational, says Janet. Really? Not only do I overanalyze. Janet, I want you to stop thinking you overanalyze. And I say that because people tell me I think too much, you ask too many questions. And I realize that's not a me thing, that's them. If they don't want to sit and think critically about something, that doesn't mean I think too much. You know what I'm saying? And so I used to say that about myself too. And then I realized I was saying that because of people's responses to me. I am a critical thinker. I'm a literal thinker. I'm an analytical thinker. I'm a concrete thinker. And so I do know I think differently than most people. But if they want to criticize how I think, that's not on me. That's on them. And so I stopped saying that because it is like a negative thing to say, oh, we do this too much or that too much. That's just how our minds work. And so I really want you to work on not believing you overanalyze everything. We just process different. Okay. Okay. Because I got to a point for me where I'm just like, I'm saying that because they said that. Who are they? And those are people you ask them a question, they don't even have an answer. So like, why am I listening to them criticize me about something? I'm like, yeah, no, that don't make sense. You internalize and then blew up. I know that about myself, and it's good that you do. So a lot of this taking your power back is about being self-aware, like knowing who you are. You had to remind yourself to stop obsessing over work and how your supervisor feels or doesn't feel about me. Yeah, because work is work. It's just like, just give me my check. I know I do a good job. All it did was cause you pain and frustration. Yes. So knowing who we are as people, and I know we talk a lot here, self-acceptance, self-love, but also self-awareness. Like, who are we as people? You ramble and then you're angry, you reveal too much. That's when a really good ride or die friend comes in handy, because you can just say whatever and they'll just still be there for you and never judge you. And that's part of knowing how we are. And it does sound like y'all are pretty self-aware. And that's the thing, is like knowing who we are, knowing what our triggers are, knowing if we're going to feel that bubbling and let it spill over and go smooth off, or if we're going to just be like, yeah, I'll put a pin in it and come back to that later. Like when I'm not feeling so amped up and so hyped. And so, but we need to know, well, I'm not going to say need to, but it would benefit us to know how we process information and how we take things, and also learn the patterns of our thought processes and of our feelings. Like, every time this happens, I do this. Every time that happens, I do that. Think about why. Because once you understand why you're having the reactions you're having, which is solely a you thing, it's solely a me thing. Nobody, and I say often, nobody can make us anything. Even if something happens and we get upset, we decide if we stay upset or if we let it go or if we resolve it in our minds or not. Nobody can make you stay mad. If you want to stay mad, that's on you, but that's giving them power over you, and they don't even care. Somebody will do something and go about their day, and we be pissed off all week. They ain't thinking about us. You done gave your power away. Take that back. Dude, the one with the house, he was saying how, hold on, anything's too long, but the rage fills me. Journal or something, Janessa. Get them feelings out. You're working on let them go more. Okay. He was saying how, and this was back when I was helping with the house, so this was like a year ago or whatever. And he was saying when somebody does something, he had a victim mentality too. None of us are victims here, y'all. We are survivors. We done been through some shit. And the members, y'all done heard some of the shit I've been through. We're survivors. And he was saying how he has a victim mentality. And when he was talking to me, I was thinking that he was really pathetic. I really was. And then I thought, that's not nice to think. He's like 6'5". And he's like, oh, this person did this to me, that person. And I'm looking at him like, you too big to be acting like a baby. And I'm just listening to him talk, because some of y'all really know me. And y'all know I can go smooth off. And I didn't want to do that because, his mom had just died and all that. So I'm just like, I didn't want to make it worse for him. And no, I still haven't heard back from him, which is a good thing. And it's also sad because that's him avoiding taking accountability for how he treated me. So, but that's a whole nother thing. And I'm cool with it the way it is. Stay the fuck away. If you're going to be talking trash, stay the fuck away from me. He was saying how he was like, well, when somebody does something to me, I'm going to get back at them. I said, why? He's like, well, because they deserve it and they this and they that. I said, if somebody do something to you that you don't like, they're going to go about their day. They're not thinking about you, but you're sitting here plotting your revenge for what? For what? Oh, I'm going to get back at them. For what? They don't even remember what happened last week. And I was sitting there listening to him like, why put your energy into that? Take your energy back. If you realize you're still pissed off about something that happened last week, last month, last year, work on letting that shit go. Take your power back, because the energy, the mental energy, that we need to maintain, to hold on to stuff that already happened. And we can't change what happened. We can just change where we are right now and how we feel right now. And yeah, be pissed off and be mad. Work on letting that go. Because you're giving away, hey Sarah, you're giving away your power for bullshit. What happened has happened. You can't change it. So why walk around upset and mad? And if it's a situation where, hey Kay, we're talking about how to take your power back. I kind of halfway have my clinical hat on tonight. Mo Robbins has some good videos on YouTube that you had to listen to. Let Them by Mel Robbins. All of it's good. Excuse me. And so the recent situation with dude, his pattern is he'll say something, and I think I'm pretty good at reading people, like in my day-to-day life. Over the internet, it can be challenging unless you really get in good and y'all be, messaging and keeping in touch off of social media. But his pattern is he'll say something that's kind of judgmental or it's a dig. And then when I confront it, then he'll send back a joke or he'll change it and be like, oh, well, I didn't mean that. I meant this. No, motherfucker, you meant it. Like, don't be trying to change up your shit because I read you on it. Like, I'm not that person. And for him, I'm like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Don't change what you say or how you feel because I read you and I hurt your feelings. And so he has sent a message. I said some of it the other day in the live. Yeah, trying to give people grace. Ooh, yeah. Could have summed it up. Yeah. Okay, Sarah. I appreciate it. And so I learned there are raised places. Yeah. When I used to work at the group home, and the group home itself was like, it was very secluded. And so the back of the house, it was just woods that went on and on and on. And so when the girls would come home from school, I would be like, who had a rough day today? And of course, they all were like, yeah. So I said, well, let's go out back on the porch and just scream into the woods. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, come on, we would go outside. I wasn't even upset or hyped, but I yelled anyway. And so that got them yelling. And they were y'all would have thought it was like a war going on. And it was probably a good 15 minutes. They were out there just yelling, just like, ah. But afterwards, they were like, wow, like I feel a whole lot better. I'm like, y'all wore me out. I'm like, that was a lot because I didn't expect it to be like that, but it was very powerful. And so I'm not saying, just go in the bathroom and scream because everybody in the house can hear you, but whatever you got to do. A rage romp, yeah, deflection. Yeah, and that's what he was doing. And so the most recent thing that I talked about the other day, the last time we went to dinner, I was exhausted. Anytime I got to set my alarm to get up, I'm going to be exhausted. And so we went out to dinner and I'm sitting there and he has told me numerous times he's not good at communicating. And I don't care if people have issues. I don't care. My thing is, are you working on them? It doesn't seem like he's been working on it. Like, and I've known him for years. And so for somebody who doesn't communicate well, for somebody who, every other sentence you say, they're like, I don't know what you mean. I don't understand. I'm just like, I'm going to just stop talking to you. Because it's like, why even try to have a conversation? Like, yeah, we are. We really are. And so I made a conscious decision, like, not to even say too much. Just piggyback on whatever he talk about because I'm like wasting my breath here. Because he's not a person that I can have a rational, intelligent conversation with. So it's very surface level. And so a few days after we had went to dinner that time, and that's when he was giving me the deer meat. And my concern was, because he was going to go somewhere and then come here. And because he said, what time's a good time to come? And I said, well, I'm usually up by 7. And so he was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go such and such, at 3:30 and I'll just kill time. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want deer meat sitting in the car for like 4 hours. And so I said, well, if you want to just order takeout and come here and then just bring it. So that's how it ended up. He picked me up for dinner at like 5 o'clock. And I'm just like, and I had told him in the car, I said, my concern was the deer meat just sitting in the car for like 4 hours, and then it ended up thawing out or whatever, and it's not good to refreeze it, whatever. And he's like, oh, I have a cooler because I travel a lot. I said, I know you travel a lot, but that don't mean I know you had a cooler. Like that type of thing. Whatever he thinks in his mind is what it is. He doesn't take into account that people may think different. And so a few days after dinner, he sent me a text and he was like, oh, I felt really bad. You look so tired. I just felt really bad. You look so exhausted. Blah, 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 blah. But then when he called himself trying to read me, he was like, your communication, you communicate well. I've seen your videos and your communication is on a 10. When we were at, dinner the last time, your communication was about a 5. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, this motherfucker told me he don't communicate well and he don't, but he's great in my communication? Excuse me? I was just like, it didn't make sense. I'm just like, what the fuck is he? And then, he said some other stuff, and I'm just like, I said, oh, I got something for your ass. And I was feeling pretty good that day, so I had energy, is what I'm saying. And so when I emailed him back, y'all, it took me a fucking hour. It took me an hour. That shit was long as hell. It was long as hell. And I would say this, leave a space, another paragraph, this, leave a paragraph, leave space, do this. And and so a lot of stuff he was saying, I was like, it's ironic that you were saying, I said, well, it's ironic that you've told me multiple times that you don't communicate well, but now you're grading my communication. I said, it takes more than one person to have a productive conversation. I said, at least half the time when I say something to you, you tell me I don't know what you mean, or you'll say, I don't understand. So part of me feels like, why even try to have more than a surface level conversation if you're not going to understand? Well, you don't know what I mean. Because even when I used to explain what I meant, you still wouldn't know what I meant. And so it got to a point where I said, I'm going to just stop trying to have deep conversations. And it was something else he said. And I was just like, yes, it was long. So I read him up, down, left, right, sideways. And I wasn't even mad. I was just like, this is ironic that, you're saying about my communication, but you told me you're not good at it and you don't know what I mean half the time. And then sometimes he'll circle back. He'll be like, oh, I don't understand. I'll just text back. I know. That's it. It'd be real short. And then like 2 days later, he'll text back, oh, the other day when you said such and such, is this what you meant? So that tells me if he thinks about it, he knows what I'm talking about. But he just don't think, and he's lazy. He'd rather ask me questions instead of just looking stuff up. What's the address to Baltimore Playhouse? I type back, Google it. Don't be, no, I am not your gateway to, I am not the encyclopedia for the Playhouse. But, so he wrote back, oh, that's a lot to process. And I know it was, y'all. It took me an hour to type an email. It really did. Because I was just like, oh, no, you done open this door, motherfucker. Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to break this down to you like you're a 6-year-old. And so he wrote back, oh, that's a lot to process. Da, 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 da. And something he has said, oh, it was about the $2.99 when I was asking if he thought $2.99 or $299. He didn't give me a straight answer. And he was like, I was surprised when you circled back because I'm thinking, I know she didn't think I thought it was $299. And I had told you that I thought it was $2.99. I said, no, you didn't. I said, I asked you 3 different times because I was trying to get a straight answer out of you. And the thing I do like about communications with him is always through text or email. And I like that shit because you can go back and look at it. And what I'm telling you is facts. I said, I asked you 3 times. Because I was trying to get a straight answer, and not once did you give me a straight answer. You would say, oh, I wasn't sure. Okay, I get that you weren't sure, but did you think? Just like you could say, is it going to rain today? I'm not sure, but I don't think so. That type of thing. But he would never say what he thought. And so, and that's my pattern too, is I'll ask somebody a question. If they don't give a clear answer, I'll ask again. If they give the same answer, okay, that's the answer. But if they give me a different answer the second time than the first time, I'll ask a third time, and whichever one matches, that's the answer. But he gave me 3 different answers, but none of them was direct saying what he really thought. So I'm just like, and I realize that's a pattern I have. I will ask a question like 3 times, 3 different ways to see what the answer is, but he never gave a direct answer. And that's part of his communication too, is where he don't give direct answers, but yet I'm supposed to know what the fuck he means. And I'm telling you stuff straightforward, and you're like, I don't understand. So he was saying it was about the process, and so he said, I hope this clears it up. I did tell you I thought it was $2.99, blah blah blah, and such and such. So he kind of just deflected, changed his tune, and trying to be all smooth and cool. And I wrote back like, no, this doesn't clear things up because what you're saying now is not what you said before. And I gave examples. When I read people, I come with examples, examples, and. That email took me like 10 minutes. Oh, hello, I just saw you. It would take him weeks or more to fully understand. I don't think he's lazy. He's not going to put the time into that. And what he should do is take it with him to therapy and let his therapist help him figure that shit out. But yeah, he's not, because he's lazy. And I speak plainly. I say things clear. And so, I'm just like, no. I pushed the button and I'm seeing y'all comments. It did a thing like it did before. Been single 20 years, no time for emails. But for some people, I prefer emails or text messages, because then I can go back and look at it. Because sometimes people will say something and gaslight you, and in your mind, you're like, wait a minute, that didn't happen. Well, wait a minute. And then you look back like, yeah, that did happen. Because they try to gaslight you or they deflect or all that stuff. He probably did, Nina, probably for the first two sentences. No, he's more so a client than anything. Yeah, so he's been a client of mine for, what he told me, was it this year or last year? That he had been my client for like 7 years. And I wasn't clocking time. So I'm like, really? It's been that long? So he's been in my life a long time, but not on a personal level. And this ain't even personal, because I'm like, dude, you're fucked up. You need to go to therapy. But yeah, I know definitely we're not compatible. Intellect is what gets me going. And if I cannot have an intellectual conversation with you, I don't have nothing to say to you, because I'm not going to talk to you like you're a child when you're in a grown person's body. And I do know, I said it before, there's a lot of grown boys. There's a lot of little boys in grown men's bodies, and there's a lot of little girls in grown women's bodies. Everybody look fully grown mentally, they're not. And if they're not, I'm not going to talk to you like you're a child. You belong to a couple of D&D groups on Facebook. At least one where you find yourself thinking D&D is not such good therapy. Yeah, man-child, and there's women-childs too. And so that's why my circle is as small as it is. But taking your power back, if you need to take a moment, if you need to take a day, if you need to take a week, circle back to it from a relaxed, emotional place. Try not to speak from emotion, because stuff I was telling him, I was giving examples. And I did tell him at the end of that email, I said, this will be the last long email I ever write you, because this is ridiculous. And at some points in the email, I said, I don't even know why we're having this conversation, because what you're saying is not what happened. Like, speak from facts, still say how you feel, give examples so that they can understand, if they want to take the time to understand like what it was. Because sometimes people say something asinine and you'd be like, that was really fucked up. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? And then when you explain it, they're like, damn, that really was kind of fucked up. Like, dude with the house, when I was telling him how he had treated me over the years, I'm like, when something happens, I'm always here for you. But if nothing is going on, then I hear from you. And I said, and the way you treat me is, and I hesitated because I was trying to think of the word. And he said, shitty. I said, well, I wouldn't say you treat me shitty. He says, no. He said, no, I'm listening to what you're saying, D, and how I have been treating you is shitty. And I wouldn't have used that word, because I felt like if I would have said that, it would have been harsh. But when he said it, I'm like, no, that's not. He said, yeah, I've been treating you shitty. I said, I'm listening to what you're saying, how I treated you, and I agree with you, and it was shitty. How I have been treating you is shitty. But still, his behavior didn't change towards me, and that's why we're not speaking now. So I had to read him on, you're not entitled to my time or my energy. Why does everybody in your life get a pass except me? Hey, Alicia. And so that's when it fell off. So it's like, you said you treat me shitty, and you do. What are you going to do about it? You're not going to continue treating me shitty, because I'll be gone. You know what I mean? I'm going to read you, and then I'm going to close the door behind me type of thing. And so, but when you speak, even if it's something that still bothers you, give examples. Because when I broke down how he had been treating me over like 6 years, like just popping in and out of my life when nothing else was going on, he's like, you're right. And I've been treating you shitty, because I had examples to give. And he was just like, oh, did it change anything? No. And that's cool. But Speak from facts. Give examples. If you even want to have that conversation, because everything doesn't require a conversation. But since I was there at the house and we were talking while we were eating dinner or lunch or something, I was like, let me just say this to him. And that's the thing too, is decide on, is it worth the conversation, or is it just, and that's it, and it just be done. The pattern though is similar to his. They'll do something fucked up or just dismiss you, and then they'll roll back around whenever as if nothing ever happened. So it may come to a point of, okay, do I want to say something, or do I just want to keep avoiding this person? For me, if you keep rolling back around, I'm going to tell you, so you can decide whether you want to treat me better or just stay gone. You're not going to, my life, I tell people, is not a revolving door. Our lives are not revolving doors. We do not have to tolerate people who mistreat us, whether physically or emotionally or even spiritually. You determine who stays in your life. But if it's something that you feel compelled to say, like I did feel compelled to write that email, I was energetic that day for whatever reason, then have that conversation. And also with email, you can get out what you want to get out without them interrupting you. Where if you're having a face-to-face conversation, some people, they're just notorious for always cutting you off and you never get out what you want to say. So it depends on if you feel like it's worth it to have a conversation, if you have the mental energy to have that conversation, if you can stay level-headed and not speak from emotions and give facts and give concrete examples. Is it worth writing an email or a letter? Or can you really just let it go and it's just gone? But if they're a person that's going to keep coming back, then you have a decision to make. What are you going to do? We can get upset, as I said, but if we stay upset, that's on us. Nobody can't make us mad. Nobody can't make us feel whatever kind of way. We decide if we hold on to that. And, you know, I'm looking at my notes, and I did talk about already. Speak from facts. Give concrete examples. Well, what do you mean I treat you, I'm dismissive? Well, and everything I said was really what happened. And, don't try not to get sidetracked. And one thing I will say about him is when I would read him, like he would just sit and look at me, where other people, they get in their feelings and they get emotional and then they want to just say other stuff, and it may or may not sidetrack you. And if they try to deflect or something, just act like they didn't say it and keep saying what you're saying. Not over talking each other, but excuse me, let me finish my sentence. And also, if you are having like strong emotions, it's okay to say that. Be like, I need for you to really just stop talking right now and to listen to what I'm saying. And not to say it like, motherfucker, you just shut the fuck up. Sometimes that will work though. But just to be like, are you going to let me finish my sentence? Because if you're not, there's no sense in us sitting here having this conversation. When you speak from a place that sounds like you're calm, because you can be jumping up and down inside cursing the person out, but if you're speaking softly, you're speaking calmly, they usually hear you better. Whether they hold on to what you're saying or not is a different thing, but they will tend to, in my experience, at least give the appearance of listening without trying to cut you off. When they realize that you realize what's going on, they will either change or disappear. The thing with disappearing is sometimes they come back because they think you forgot. And that's when you have to go through your mind like, okay, is this worth my time, my energy, or whatever? Because my thing is, after I read you, I'm done. I'm done. And so when he called himself clearing stuff up, and I wrote back, no, it didn't clear up because what you're saying now isn't what you said before. What you said before, the more examples, concrete examples of stuff that really did happen. And how did I end that one? Oh, I forget how I ended it, but he wrote back saying, oh, well, this is Mission Impossible, something. So I wrote him back real short. If you say it's impossible, it will be impossible because that means you won't even try. And he didn't respond to that one. But once I read you like that, I'm done. Because then he put an LOL, Mission Impossible, LOL. The shit ain't funny. But that's that deflection or not wanting to really acknowledge. Like I could say, oh yeah, Mission Impossible, and I really feel like it is, but then I put a LOL trying to convince myself that it's not serious. You see what I'm saying? So it's that mental game that they're playing with themselves that we can see through. And it's true. If you think something's impossible, you're not even going to try because you already think it's impossible. Like, why bother? And that says a lot too. Yeah, he doesn't, and he really doesn't. And I know quite a few people like that, and they're on the outskirts of my life, or they're out of town of my life. Like, they're a non-factor. So those are the things that take your power back. Take a minute, day, week, whatever. Think about it. If you feel like it would benefit either you just to say what you feel like needs to be said, or if there's a slight chance, possibility, maybe kind of, sort of, they might really hear me and think about it, then have the conversation. Give concrete examples. Speak facts. If it's text or email, that's easier because you're gonna be like, you can screenshot shit and send it. They can't lie. They can't gaslight you. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what you said. Try not to get sidetracked. Stay on point. Whatever it is, whatever your reason is for saying what you're saying and what you want to say, stick to that. Some people will just sit and listen to you, or they'll look at you and you can tell that they're not hearing you. But some people will want to keep saying stuff to just get you off track because it's too much for them to handle. And so they're trying to, change things up and stay on track. And the bottom line is, does any of that even matter? Like, does all of that bullshit matter? The only reason it matters is because it showed me who he really is. Both of those dudes. And so in that sense, it's like, if I ever wondered, I don't wonder no more. I don't wonder no more. If I wondered in the first place, I don't wonder anymore. And I am a firm believer that, what's going to happen is going to happen. And I am a firm believer that we can learn from a lot of things. And so situations like this, we'll learn about ourselves and we'll learn about the other person. We're going to deal with ourselves because it's us. But other people, we can make that decision. Like, and the thing is with letting people go is really letting them go. To where if they come back, you're like, who's you? Like, it won't even faze you. And you'll just be like, I don't have nothing to say to you. You know what I mean? And so, because sometimes we like, oh, I let this person out of my life, blah, blah, blah. And then when they come back, we end up in that same destructive cycle. So if you want to let somebody go, you have to maintain that. Yeah, Nina said, don't forget. Yeah, and don't forget. But we determine who we give our power to, who we give our energy to. And we're the only ones that we can take back our energy and take back our, I don't want to say sanity, but sometimes it feels like we're going insane. You hold that power. And one thing that I let annoy me, kind of on topic, kind of off topic, when I hear people say, I just want to be in a relationship so I'll be happy. So you're leaving it up to somebody else to make you happy. Nobody can't make you anything. Be happy with yourself, love yourself, self-love, self-acceptance, all that stuff that we talk about a lot here on this channel. You're relinquishing your happiness. You're relinquishing your outlook on life to another person. Nobody's here to make you anything. I just want to be married. I'll be happy. Y'all, those of us who've been married, we know that shit is work. And it takes both people to commit and to work at it for it to be good. And so, but it just, some people just don't take accountability. And this is where I'm going to talk about external versus internal locus of control. And this is something I talk about in Academy too. And if you know what this is, feel free to put it in the chat. Internal locus of control. That's how I am, Janet, Nina. When things happen, we don't look outside of ourselves for an answer or a solution. We look inside of ourselves and think about, what can I learn from this? Like, what was my part in this? Like, yeah, it's a fucked up situation, but how did I allow myself to get here? And we process inward, and our answers come from within us. And external locus of control is, well, he did that, she did this, and they can make me happy. He pissed me off. External is when it's something outside of yourself that's in control of your life. Internal locus of control is you, your internal self is in control of your life and your feelings and how you act and react to things. And so when people are like, "Oh, I just want him to make me happy," you're depending on something outside of you. You're letting or trying to let external forces dictate how you feel and how you live your life. Hey, Joe. So that's the difference between internal and external. And so that's something to consider too. Like, which type of person are you? What's your personality type? And I forget what the test is called. I don't know if it's Myers-Briggs. It's something where you answer all these questions. It'll tell you your personality type. And I already knew mine, but to see it written out and how they break it down, I'm just like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. If I could find it, they have a link online if they still do. I'll look for it, and if I can find it, I'll put it in on my community tab. But it's very helpful to just learn more about who we are as people and how we function and how we roll, and also the place, the depth, and the width of space that we give other people to be in our life, and we determine that as well. Women are very good at making choices, in my opinion. Some. I'll say some, because I don't, from a clinical standpoint, it's like, girl. And usually they won't change. Because people get comfortable how they are. And, okay, dude, the not good communicator dude, he's a year older than me. He's 56. So apparently, however he is, has been working for him. So it's like, if you ain't changed by now, you're over half a century old. Like, I'm not holding any pennies to put in the pond when you switch. So it's just, and that's the thing, is like, people my age, around my age, or even older than me, I look at them different. Because you're not in high school anymore. You're not still developing. And it's unfortunate that where some people are mentally right now is how they're going to be for the rest of their days. And it works for them because, you know, maybe they're surrounded by people who are like them. He didn't want to take responsibility. And he takes zero responsibility. Even if I say, like when I told him, I find it ironic you're saying it seemed like I didn't want to be there when a few days after you said you felt bad, I was so exhausted. Like, how talkative are you when you're exhausted? How talkative are you when you're tired? And for you to say you felt bad that I look so tired and I look so exhausted, now you're saying I act like I didn't want to be there. Which is it? So he was trying to be snarky, but when I read him, he couldn't say shit. Oh, that's still out the process. Okay. Whatevs. Yeah, when you were dating, still dating, when you were done, you were done. Yeah. I'll be like, okay, I'll check back with you later. Later don't never come. Later don't never come. Because with dating, trying to date, I should say, it's like, how much time am I going to give? And if you're intuitive, or if you really just pay attention to what people say, and if you met in person, like how they act, you get a feel for who they are. And at my age or older, or even around my age, I don't have the time for that. No, you're an adult, and if this is what works for you, it could work with you for somebody else, because I'm not dealing with that. I'm not. Yeah, when I'm done, I am done. And so, but as best you can, and if you do have an external locus of control, just be aware of that. And then think about, why am I letting this stick with me? Like when dude is like, oh, I'm going to get back at people. I said, you have a retaliatory mindset. And I said, it's childish. It's childish. They're not even thinking about what happened, and you're trying to plot revenge. That's a waste of energy and a waste of time. That energy you're putting into that, what other things can you do that can be really awesome? But you want to put energy into that. Because people do shit and forget. It's like he forgot he felt bad. I was exhausted. Now it's like I look like I didn't want to be there. People say shit and forget. So like, why should we hold on to that when they don't? Take your power back. And they may never know, but you know how you feel. And you can't determine someone's actions, but I control my response to that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I can work on and improve. Absolutely. And that's what this whole discussion is about, Danessa. You summed it up perfectly. You can't determine someone's actions, but I can control my response to their actions. That's what I can work on and improve. Yes. And that's what I want for all of us, is just to be at peace with our life, whatever it is. It could literally be shit coming down as rain and you're inside and you're like, wow, I'm glad I have this nice apartment to sit in. Like, it doesn't affect you at all. And after the shit, then it'll be regular rain. It'll wash the shit off my car. Like, everything's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, not being easily phased by something happens that we don't like or something we hear and we're like, wait, what? Catch yourself and be like, you know what? That ain't my stuff. That's their stuff. Oh, you overthink. That's not me. My brain just goes that way. If they have a problem with it, that's not my problem. Their problem with you is not your problem. Your problem with them is their problem. Do not carry their shit. We have enough of our own shit to carry. And I said before, I don't care if people have issues. My thing is, are you working on your issues? And if they're not, then you don't have a place in my life. I'm working on myself all the time because I know I got my ways. Y'all know I got my ways. But if they're not working on it, then it's like, why are you even in my face? Yeah, I'm a clinician, but I'm not yours. So you need to go find your therapist. I'm just reading through the comments. They leave long enough for them to feel you out. Sometimes they forget. And they'll be like, oh, I miss her. And then they come back. And I'm like, no. Why do you say that? Well, because... and then they disappear again. And I don't even say it from a place of being angry or snarky. But if you ask me, I'm going to answer you. I'm going to say, do you really want to know the answer? Because I know they're not going to want to hear it. And if they keep saying, yes, they want to hear the answer, I'm going to tell you. And then they disappear again because it's like, damn, like, yeah, what I like dude said, oh, yeah, I've been treating you shitty. They know. When you break it down, they know. But yeah, they'll forget and come back. And I'm just like, no. And sometimes I just don't reply at all. I'm like, nah. And if I'm in a relationship and the relationship ends and I'm this way, I know some people say once we break up, they're dead to me. And that's cool. For me, if I've ever loved someone, I always love someone. Whether or not I allow you in my life, that's a different story. I am a fan of loving you from afar. I still love you way over there. You don't have to be, have an active place in my life. And so when relationships end, sometimes, depending, I'll say, do you want us to keep in touch or not? And if they say no, I'm cool with that. And in a way, I feel it's unfortunate, but I know for some people, that's the only way they can cope. If I break up with this person because I know how I am, and if I want to get on track with my life and get myself situated, I need to not have this person in my mind. And so I do understand why some people do just be like, no contact. And then other people, they can break up and they can still be cool every now and then. Hey, how you doing? Sometimes they even go out to lunch or dinner a few times and there's nothing romantic there, but they still have a quasi, I don't even want to say friendship. There's a respect. There's a respect there. And so if somebody tells me, okay, I would prefer if there's no contact. Okay, cool. You don't have to worry about me ever. Okay, cool. Like, what does it change in my life? And that's another thing, too. When things happen, does it really matter? And that's my last two notes on here. Does it matter? And does it change anything? In the scheme of things, in the long term, does it matter? And usually the answer is no. I was so lucky my parents taught me self-love and body positivity before it was popular. Absolutely, Joe. I think I'm chunky and people tell me I look fine. And I am body conscious. I really am. And it's really weird because I see people that are bigger than me and they're just like, and I'm like, and that's a me thing. And I think it's because I know, like, when I weigh a certain amount or go over a certain weight, I feel different. And I knew 2 days ago that I had reached 200 again because I could just feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a feeling. And because I don't like it, I'm just like self-conscious about it. And other people don't even freaking care. But I'm like, does it really matter? No. So I need to just let that go and let my pudge hang out. What's MBTI, Nina? We need to stop comparing ourselves to others to that too, Dawn, assuming everyone has a perfect life. Nobody has a perfect life. But I can say this, it may be perfect for them, but their life is not your life. Your life can be perfect for you. Like everything is separate. Like I think I have a pretty good life. Like, yeah, I got issues. Yeah, sometimes things get rough or whatever. But when I look at the whole picture, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. And we determine what's perfect for us or how we feel. We try not to allow other people to take that from you. And that's what this is about, taking your power back and keeping your power. And if you have it, hold on to it. When we do have that internal locus of control, we have to be careful not to take too much responsibility, because I used to do that. I don't quite understand too much responsibility, because either we're responsible or we're not. And the thing with that is, Tanya, I'm responsible for me, my actions and my reactions. I'm not responsible for somebody else's. And so maybe that's what I'm kind of missing in what you're saying. Because if I'm responsible, I'm responsible. It's not me taking too much responsibility, because I'm responsible for my part. They're responsible for their part. Unless you mean, yes, the Myers-Briggs. You're an ISTJ, and I forget what mine is. I'm a defender too, Nina. I have defender in there. I have judge in there, and I forget what the other ones are. And I like how they break down each thing. And I'm like, oh, ow. Eileen ISTF in my personal life, says Tanya. I knew I liked you, Tanya, says Nina. So since y'all already know, do I still need to put that on like a beauty tab? I even put that on my FET page. I did a writing and put this in my personality type and my characteristics. And the thing is when I tell people up front, like when I was on dating apps, I put, I'm a concrete, linear, analytical thinker. I put this and this and that, and people don't know what the hell it means. People don't know what shit means. Like I tell you how I am and who I am, and then you want to be mad because I asked too many questions. What? Boy, bye. Janessa is an INSF. The energy are really strong for the I. I'm on the border between I and it. Yeah. And that's interesting too. Like when we do that test and they break it down and we're looking at it and we're like, damn. That makes everything make sense. As far as like who we are as people and how we relate to other people and even how we relate to ourselves. And if we're kind to ourselves, if we really do love ourselves. Thank you for the thumbs up, y'all. Enablers. I am not an enabler. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. Nah. I think when I was talking about the brush giveaway, I said if there's only like 1 or 2 brushes you actually want, put that in your comment as part of your entry, because I said I'm not an enabler and I don't want to encourage hoarding. And so I don't want people to get stuff if they're not going to actually, be joyful to use it. But then once it's gone, it's gone. So, I mean, from here. But Jenna said I had quiet revenge and I won. But why is having revenge important? Like, does it matter? And I'm saying that from a place of love, Janet, because we do talk off of YouTube. But yeah, I know other people, and I'm not saying this is you, because this doesn't even feel like you, but dude was like, yeah, I'm going to get back at them, and I'm going to do this. I said, what difference does it make? Like, dude, like, what the fuck? So you're just going to spend all this time getting back at people, and they done forgot whatever the situation was. What did you win? You just gave up a year worth of your energy and mental energy and your time trying to plot your revenge. That's a year of your life that you could have did something more productive with. There are 5. The 5 are. I hate when people ask questions, they don't actually want to answer. If I know they're not gonna like the answer, I'll say it 3 times. Just like I'll ask the same question 3 times to see what the answer really is, if they ever give a straight answer. If I know they're not gonna like the answer, because I know me, and I can say it as softly as possible, but it's still gonna cut you. You know what I mean? I'll say, do you want to know? Oh yeah, I want to know. And I'll be like, are you sure you want to know? And people who know me, that sometimes they'll look at me and be like, never mind. And then some people be like, yeah, I want to know. So I'll ask a 3rd time, are you sure? You really want to know? And if they say yeah, I'll tell it to them. Soft as possible, but it still might cut you. But yeah, I want to be sure that you are positively sure that you want to know, because I know how it's going to sound. No matter how softly I speak, I know how it's going to sound. But yeah, it leads you to some strange feelings. Let me back that up. The people we love are always a part of who we are, even if they aren't in our lives anymore. At least some very strange feeling sometimes, but it's part of our stories. Definitely part of our stories. Yeah. And the thing is, some of it is remembering stuff, but getting to a place where it doesn't affect us anymore. Like somebody can bring up, whatever. And like a year ago, we'd have been like, yeah, motherfucker. And now a year later, they bring it up. And it's just like, So maintaining our own energy and our own power and not giving it to that. Yeah, I remember that and it was fucked up, but it was what it was. It's over. I'm cool. You know what I mean? So we don't have to carry that. We don't have to relive fucked up shit. Even though I told y'all when I talked about, that was a members exclusive. The situation with the kid, I cannot get over that. Every time I think about it, it fucks me up. It fucks my head up. Even like now thinking about it, I'm just like, what the actual fuck? And that didn't even have to do with me. That was just, but I was just, that was fucked up. And it always, every time, and I don't think about it often, but when I do, even like now, like my head is fucked up. It's just, Thank you, Alexandra. You just don't love, says Michelle. That sounds bad, but I generally don't love my family or any previous partner. Literally only my children and my husband. I could see that, Michelle, because you be looking at him like, yeah, you got that I love you forever look when you be looking at him. And he just be like, da-da-da-da, and you just be like, and I be watching the video like, damn, like she love her some him. The way you look at him, I just be like, oh. Years ago, this guy, he's polyamorous. I don't even know why that's important, but he had multiple partners. And I would notice, like one of his newer partners at that time, she looked at him, Michelle, the way you look at your husband, but the way he looked at her was lustful. Because I was sitting there watching them talk one day, and she was just like, and he was just like, so it was just completely, and I told him I'm good at reading people, like when I take the time to. And so I was just sitting there watching them too, like, So when she left the room, I went over to him. I said, don't hurt that girl's feelings and don't lead her on. He was like, what do you mean? I said, she is in love with you. And you are in lust with her. You two are not on the same page. I said, do not hurt that girl's feelings. I said, do not hurt her. And he was looking at me strange. And I said, I said, she is in love with you. And you are lusting after her. I said, do not hurt her. And she was younger than him too. I felt kind of protective of her in a way because she was younger than him. And yeah, and then they broke up and went through some shit or whatever. And I'm like, boop, told you. But anyway, y'all was like, don't hurt her. No. Okay, Alexandria. I read the first part and read the second part. Thank you for being here. You have a good night. Yes, thanks goodness tomorrow's Friday. Okay, so that is it, y'all. I hope that was enjoyable. We done talked about pensies. We done talked about whatever else. Yellow rice. And then we talked about why we're here. Take your power back. If something happens and you realize you're feeling, your blood start to boil, think about it. Why does that matter? If you can just let it go, let it go. If you need to say something, is it worth the time? Is it worth the effort? And sometimes it is worth it to get it out because it's like, I just need to release this. Me, I journal a lot. If something fucked up happened, and that helps me because then it's gone. It's not going me speaking to that person, but it's out of me. You know what I mean? And so whatever you need to do to maintain your power or to take your power back, that's what you do. Yes. And jump into Janessa's live in about 35 minutes. Yeah. Thank you, Nina. Yes, I will be there. I'm going to fix something to eat. Put some rice in a rice cooker. That yellow rice is so freaking good. Same crew. Yeah, it'll be all of us over there. So everybody who is in here now, thank you so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I hope that this made sense. I hope that if you do have an external locus of control, and which is fine, just work on accountability, self-accountability, and holding yourself a little more responsible, and not it's always something else. Because usually at least a little bit of it is us too, even if it's mostly something else. But so we're going to end on that. I hope that this was helpful. And all of y'all here, 35 minutes. go over to Janessa's and watch her live because she's doing makeup. So she's doing the fun stuff. So this was the rough stuff. She's going to be doing the fun stuff. And I'm excited to see those, even though I can't wear Blend Bunny eyeshadows because I use for pigments, fuckers. But I do have that blush stuff. But anyway, so we're going to go. I hope that this helps. I'm trying to think if I still should put that test in my, y'all, if I remember, I'll still put the link to that in there for those who didn't take it. But it was very encouraging for me that y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know y'all letters, y'all numbers. And knowing that, you know, it does help things make sense. So we are going to go. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you, Grace, for being here, and everybody else, as always. Feel free to contact me off YouTube too if there's something you want to discuss or process or whatever, because I do know sometimes like our discussions may bring up stuff and likely does bring up stuff. And so if you want to process, I'm here. My email is in the description box. Some of y'all have my Instagram, makeup_by_Dion Loves. I think that's what it is. Makeup by Dion Loves, but it's the underscores. But yeah, so as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the crazy troll nation way. Thank you, everybody. And I will see y'all in about 35 minutes for Janessa's Live. Bye.